Okay, Factory 5 Roaster 6882. Got the slick sand put on here over the gel coat and over the body work. It's been done. From a distance it looks good. It's close up, you can still see, where I oversprayed some. It's a little heavy in some places, that'll sand off. You can see some pinholes here and there, but there's a little bit of tiger striping in the body. I don't know if you can see in this area right here. Did my best. This is my first time of spraying a car, automobile, and it also showed really the body work where there's still some flaws in the body work, and that is apparent in some places more than others. But overall, for the getting rid of the parting lines, I think it turned out well. I sprayed this Saturday, and this is Monday now, so it's had some time to kind of soak in, it appears, into some of the Rage Gold body filler. And that would be because of the lighting, you can't tell too well, but when I came in, this line right here, it started showing up, having the sun behind it. Showed up pretty well. Also, this line here showed up pretty well. Also, with the direct sunlight behind it shining on it, the tiger striping showed up as well. You can kind of see where it kind of did lines with the spray painting. But that's okay, because this body filler will sand out. This is slick sand. It's supposed to be a high build primer that you can sand, get flat, and then spray it again if you need to. What's interesting is some of these door areas, I think they turned out pretty well. There's a little bit of work that still needs to be done, but otherwise they turned out pretty good. There used to be a lot of body filler here, and it used to be pretty rough transition, and that kind of came out all right, as well as this side. This used to be pretty rough as well, because the parting lines were right along here as well as down here, so it dug all that out, and that came together pretty good, relatively smooth to where, as opposed to where it was before, but we'll continue to get that smooth. Same story over here on the trunk. This area right along here, there's a little indentation right there, but if you look underneath the body, you can see, can you see that? Where the parting lines were and where a lot of that body work was, like right there, that's where a parting line was. But as you transition over to the top, it's a very smooth appearance on the top. This will be sanded down. Same thing as on this side. This right here has got a good appearance to it, pretty smooth. But looking underneath, you can see where that was. That's not turning out too well, but all this rough area, you can see my shadow right in there. But looking on top, very smooth. This gas cap, I had sanded all the way through it. There was a hole right around here somewhere. That's been filled in with high strength filler, and then put on the Rage Gold over it as well. You can still see the 80 grit, it might be 40 grit scratches in there, but for the most part that turned out nice and smooth. Little blemishes here and there. This door area also had kind of a hard transition, little valley here, but this came out nicely. I don't know if I can get to where there was, you can see the body filler right there, but just to have that transition on the top came out nicely. Also this side, right in this area as well, very smooth. So overall happy with it. Got some overspray. For the first time, it's not a bad job. Some people may say it was, but it really helped the appearance of it, and it's going to help the next step of it, which is going to be more sanding. I'm going to hit it with probably 220 to start off with, and try to get it smooth and find out where I need to do different work, and then start applying that work. May get a glaze, may look into that for filling in pinholes. There's a lot of little pinholes that showed up. They don't seem to be as apparent walking through today on Monday as they were on Saturday, and I wonder if there was some filling in that occurred as it cured. I don't know exactly how all this works, but let's look at the doors, trunk and hood. Okay, here's one of the doors here that's hanging. Sprayed both sides of it. This was again Saturday, and it came out all right. I had this hanging when spraying it, and when I came to it, it would start swinging, and in the wind as I was spraying it, so it would start to get farther away from the gun, farther closer as it was swinging. So it was a little difficult to keep a uniform spray on it. Here's the trunk. The trunk I also had trouble with. Keep a uniform spray on it because I wasn't really thinking about the path of the gun. Hadn't I never done this before. I was sort of going this way, and this way, and this way. But then when I got here, I realized, well, how am I going to get this arch? So then I started coming over this way to try to match this curve. That's a pretty sharp curve, but did my best to get that covered. And then the hood. This one was a nightmare, still is, but it turned out pretty good. There'll be lots of sanding to go in there, but there's a lot of body filler in this area to try to get a smooth transition, and that worked out all right. But I seem to have touched it in a couple places around here, but that will sand out. So from afar it looks good. Walking up to it you can see some flaws, but overall pleased. Okay, so that's about it. We're going to be moving out of this facility soon, and so a lot of this work is going to be continued at the house. I may have a couple more videos from this location, but it's going to start moving into the house, and we'll continue with the mechanical build. I'll run over there real quick, show you that. Not much to see. It's under tarp right now. We've got holes in the ceiling, so we're expecting rain. Just putting a tarp over it, and then this will also be heading home soon. All right, thanks.